we're gonna take a look at why you should be looking at the Defender, how you should be buying the right one, and more importantly, revealing my latest Defender 110X. All right, welcome back to Exotic Car Hacks, and we are going to be taking a look at my Defender 110X. This is a 2023 110, meaning 4-door, and of course it's the X Dynamic version, which is basically the best version of the P400 outside of the V8 variation of this. Now, the reason I keep buying these Defenders and I don't buy V8s, just to be clear, like one of the key things that I get asked a lot is, if you're so rich and you have all these cars, why don't you buy the best variation of that? Well, there's a couple of reasons. I don't actually think the V8 Defender is a better car than this particular cheaper one. As a matter of fact, I would argue that there are some cars that are better with a smaller engine than they are in their bigger engine variants. In this particular case, I would absolutely say after 10 different Defenders, this is, in my opinion, the most luxurious and best variation of the Defender lineup. So this is the 110, which is the 4-door. This is a 2023, and it comes with a lot of very cool options. You'll notice the 22-inch wheels, the painted calipers, a lot of features inside, but you can just Google or look on YouTube. There's someone else that basically really loves this truck or was paid by Defender to give you the whole snap of what the options are. But that's not what we're doing here at Exotic Car Hacks, because I told you on this channel, especially in 2024, we're going to be talking about the truth more than anything else, because I don't get paid from manufacturers to review their product. Instead, I put my own money so they can off if I don't like their product. The Defender, however, is an excellent car. It's an excellent vehicle, generally speaking. That's why I keep buying them. The thing that makes sense about this car is it's very durable, it looks really good, and more importantly, it can go through a lot, such as snow and all types of terrain like heavy water, without having damage to the car. And what I mean by that is, one rainstorm and half of my earth falls apart. 10 lakes later, this thing would look absolutely mint after a wash, which is why they just work very well for what they were intended to be. Now, this particular car, and if you're going to be buying a Defender, there's a couple of things you need to know. The first one is, the more loaded the Defender on accessories, the more likely it's going to resell well. And we're going to take a look at what that really means and then talk about modifications as well. Regardless of what color you want to buy the car, there are a few types of accessories you can add from the factory, such as this incredible roof rack and such a thing like a ladder or a box on the other side. Now, you may notice that I always opt for the ladder instead of the box, and here's the reason. Because once you're driving in this position here, you tend to look out of that rear view, and the box often obstructs that rear view, making it very difficult to see your blind spot. So I just choose to opt out of the box, even though the box looks really cool. The other reason why the box wouldn't have looked cool on this particular unit is most of the OEM boxes are silver, not gloss black, and it would have required more conditioning and painting and everything, and I just didn't want to deal with it. Secondly, if you're going to be driving these cars and buying them, there's a few things you can buy from the factory to really help the resale. The second thing, outside of all these accessories, is painted panels here. Now, all of this bottom guard stuff is usually matte black, but in very few specific units on the market, you'll find them factory painted. This is actually a big deal because the factory painted ones, especially if you don't plan to go off-roading a lot, give the car a much more solid urban look. This is very important because the majority of people buying these cars are not taking them off-roading. And so that actually matters. And the third thing that, again, people aren't talking about, now you'll also notice that factory stuff we're talking about here, also painted here instead of the ugly plastic. These nuances make a difference. Here you'll also notice the cover on the back also painted to match, something that, again, you'll have to search for, which is why I always say there are very few Defenders on the market that just make sense. And then, of course, you can also have a very exciting interior, like a two-tone color interior to give it that really nice edgy look. Even though you could technically hose down the inside, that's how durable these things are, it's a pretty exciting look for a beater of a beater type of car. So very effective, very usable. And then comes the idea of the upgrades. So I love to upgrade these things, and you'll notice a very few line items that are absolutely mandatory for every Defender I've owned. You'll notice these running LEDs here, absolutely fantastic. Something from Urban Automotive, it's like about $1,500 to do this, and usually you would have these really OEM looking fog lights that don't turn on, they're not daytime running LEDs, and this makes a substantial difference in design when the car is rolling. Absolutely beautiful, a must do especially if you're going to be keeping your car. And the last piece that I think is a must do, regardless that it's the 2-door or 4-door, are these sills right here. They're called a hex step from Urban Automotive as well. Now, you may say, hey, I've seen where you can get one of these directly from the factory and they're just as good, and that wouldn't be further from the truth. The factory ones look really skinny and ugly and have silver lining around them that just looks like horse shit. On the other side though, these are urban ones that are floating on the front and back and look superb because of the thickness and how well they complement the car. So if you've ever wanted a step, buy one without a step and basically add that on. And finally, the last piece that you want to do in order to upgrade and make sure these cars are very resellable, tires. Now, if you have the factory 22-inch wheels, which are a beautiful wheel to begin with, you can just do a beautiful set of grappler tires, get that fat, thick, off-road looking tire, and you are good to go and the game is done. On the other hand, if you have the uglier 20-inch wheels, you can buy a set of Rotiforms or Anarchies or something else and put a nice set of grappler tires in 20 or 22. If you don't have the 22s, I recommend doing a 20-inch wheel with a really fat tire. If you do have the 22s, just put a fat tire and save some money. So this is the latest arrival to my private collection. This one's not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, if you follow Exotic Car Hacks or learn how to get in and out of exotic cars, you'll notice this is the 10th car I've been able to drive for free. And more importantly, something else that's really important to know, these qualify for Section 179 under business tax deductions. And if you don't know what that is also something else we teach at Exotic Car Hacks as an additional step to making sure your daily ends up making you money instead of losing some. So that is it for today's Exotic Car Hacks review of my new Defender 110X. I wanted you guys to see what it is. We've reviewed this on the channel several times. Just look it up on the past videos if you want to know how it drives. The 23 doesn't drive any different than 22 or 21. If you've considered buying one of these, I think there's some of the best value for the money and can currently bought used under MSRP, so dealers are giving discounts on new, but generally speaking, these are trading between 15 to 20,000 under MSRP now, making them one of the best bangs for the buck, in my opinion, on the market for the price point, especially with the price increases across the board for many of these manufacturers and similar trucks alike. So there you have it, guys. Remember, this is 2024. If you're still losing money on cars, this needs to stop. That's why you're watching this channel. Click the link in the description and learn how to hack cars for free, or just join our community and save yourself a ton of hassle and money in trying to figure out how to do it yourself. Literally click the second link, join our community. It's 24, it's easy. All you do is learn and you evolve, simply put, right? Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and tell me what you think of my Defender in the comments. I'll catch you next time for Exotic Car Hacks. You know, everyone knows me as this car guy. I'm a big car collector. I love cars, and more importantly, they know me for making good decisions, gaining in and out of cars in order to maximize my return. But what if I told you that one of the ways I was able to buy all these cars has been by trading watches? But I'm not here to tell you about my other company, Watch Trading Academy. Instead, I'm here to tell you about a question I get asked at Watch Trading Academy a lot, which is, how do you sell watches confidently and, more importantly, in a safe manner online? Simply put, I use this company called Grailsy. It is a safe and very transparent way to sell a watch online. Not only do they handle the whole transaction from A to Z, but they make it safe for both the buyer and the seller, and because they really cater to real buyers and not just other watch traders, as a seller, you're always getting a great premium on a watch, especially when you're selling it. And as a buyer, you never know when you can find a great deal. So definitely check them out at grailsy.com. They're an incredible company, and they've been the best place to safely buy and sell luxury watches.
Grailsy, buy and sell iconic timepieces.